This is Season 8, Episode 154 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.
Sometimes the important thing is not the number of miles you've driven, but what's going on inside your head while driving. The Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast will stimulate your mind and keep you company while on the road. Join us for education, motivation, and inspiration from wherever you may be in our nation. You'll hear roundtable discussions about important information that's impacting our industry. Plus, you'll learn more about new technology, equipment, driving opportunities, safety, and operations. Get driver success and fitness tips to keep you profitable, safe, healthy, as well as entertaining stories from the road. And don't you know, we've all got a few of those. We might be traveling in different directions, but we're all part of one driver community at the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. With your host, trucker Tim Cicerelli.
Well, hello, friends, and welcome to episode 154 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. Tim Cicerelli here, otherwise known as Trucker Tim. We've got a new feature here that we thought would be kind of fun to release here in Season 8 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. It's called Did You Know? And we're going to be throwing out some very interesting facts about Stevens Transport, about our drivers, about the company. And I'll ask you a question at the beginning of every episode, and at the end of every episode, I'll give you the answer. So before we run down some of the topics we're covering today, I'm going to start off by asking, did you know in 2024, Stevens Transport drivers collectively racked up an incredible number of miles? Any guesses how many? I'll have the answer for you at the end of this episode. Before that, though, we are going to be visiting with a Stevens driver who's an independent contractor, spent many years driving a school bus, and she had the dream of getting on the open road and owning her own truck or two. We'll have her story coming up with our Stevens Driver Spotlight. We're also going to be welcoming a new member to the Stevens family. She's been with us since March, and we're excited to let you get to know a little bit more about Brittany Bemben. She is our VP of IT and Innovation at Stevens Transport, and we're going to do a Stevens Employee Spotlight to get to know her on a more personal level. Also on the way, our friend Terrance Burges, our safety supervisor, has some safety tips for you, a little reminder about adjusting our mirrors and proper mirror usage. But what do you say we go ahead and kick off this episode with our friends across the yard over at Paragon Leasing as we talk to Nick Forte about some of the new electric power units for our trucks on our Stevens Roundtable. Always great to welcome our next guest back to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. From our maintenance and equipment arm of Stevens Transport, Paragon Leasing, we've got our Vice President of Maintenance, Nick Forte. Nick, welcome back to the show. How you been, my friend?
Good, Tim. How are you, my friend?
We're hanging in there, and here we are in Season 8, over 150 episodes behind us. Nick, you go back at least 4 or 5 episodes, I think, since you've joined the company. How long you been with Stevens and Paragon Leasing?
3.5 years. We're going on number 4, so I got many more years hopefully ahead of me, so life will be pretty good.
And life is good with you on board, Nick, and your wonderful team over there at Paragon Leasing. It's been a minute since we've done a spotlight with Paragon Leasing. So for some of our new listeners that might have joined us, just fill them in on what Paragon Leasing is and its relation to Stevens Transport. Then we'll talk about some of the new initiatives that you're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. So Paragon Leasing, for those of you who don't know, is the equipment and maintenance arm of Paragon or Stevens Transport. And what that is we purchase, maintain, and hold all of the assets, and then we do all the repairs on it. So we're the equipment guys and gals. If you've got wheels, it generally falls into our purview, but we're responsible for the maintenance and upkeep and acquiring new assets and new trucks and new trailers, and that all kind of falls under our purview. Speaking of new assets, you kind of precluded to it, Tim, that hey, there's some new stuff on the horizon.
Yeah.
And yes, we're a little bit slow. I say that because we kind of did a press release Oh, it was probably October, November, about Stevens and Battleborn Dragonfly Energy is signed a partnership. And what that is that we are evolving and we're doing a larger test group of what we call electric power units, EPUs instead of APUs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as we look at the APU model we have now, you've got an additional engine on the side of the truck. It takes a beating going down the road. There's a lot of maintenance and cost associated with trying to keep that thing going. And really one of the biggest negatives, if there was to say a negative, if you have an APU problem go down, you go to a Thermo King dealer to get it repaired. Well, Thermo King dealers provide all of our reefer units. Reefer units take priority. So you could go in to have a problem where you don't have your creature comforts, and now you've got to wait a day or two before they can work on this. So it's just not conducive to good driver satisfaction. So we took a look at some of the things out in the market, and we partnered with, Kenworth at the moment, and we'll evolve with Peterbilt and Freightliner as well. But we've taken 30 of our new Kenworths, and we've spec'd what's called the Kenworth Idle Management System. Or KEMS. You'll hear me say KEMS, so that's what that is. We love acronyms in trucking. KEMS is the new one, so Kenworth Idle Management System. So what does that do? So at the factory, they take the rear HVAC system of the truck, and now it's integrated with electrical components. So we've got a seamless integration into the truck components. It's all under warranty from the factory at a Kenworth. And what we're doing now is we're adding a lithium-ion battery. Previously, we would add another 4 lead acid batteries on the truck, and you would be fortunate to get maybe 8 hours of runtime out of that battery pack. With us putting the lithium-ion battery pack on there, we can generally get 12 to 14 hours of runtime, no problem. It's got a bigger alternator. Even if we do have to start, we can charge that entire battery pack from completely dead to fully charged in about 3 hours now. So it really kind of looking at short cycles. So if we have a driver that only drives for 2 or 3 hours and then they're stuck again, but the truck will also catch and start. Once it gets too low, it'll start run for 50 minutes. We're putting 320 amps out. So we can get about 80% battery pack in under 50 minutes. So we don't have all this starting and stopping. You don't have a lawnmower engine, as some drivers have said that, the AP is like having a lawnmower under your head when you're trying to sleep. So we're really trying to look at what's more convenient for our operators and our drivers, as well as take a look at, what will promote uptime and less downtime. And then the other part is it's good stewards to the environment. I mean, we don't have all this additional nonsense running another engine for 12 hours, even though we're only burning, a quarter of a gallon per hour, we're still burning fuel. So if we can harness some of the energy that while we're already burning fuel, we're not kind of double dipping. So lots of good things there that we've got coming. Like I said, there's 30 trucks. We're just rolling them out in the fleet. Our hopes as we kind of spread this along the population of, new drivers, senior drivers, some of our meat patch dedicated like craft and other locations to really get a good sample across the country of what it is. And we put remote telematics in it so we can also see what's happening. So the drivers don't necessarily have to, give us a lot of feedback. We want the feedback, but we can also see what is transpiring with the start and stops.
And that was my next question was, how is this impacting the driver's day-to-day responsibilities? And you want their feedback, but how amazing that you're able to just monitor it without, them just doing what they normally do.
Well, the big thing is I didn't want to have to bother someone, call them, once a week. Hey, how's this doing?
Right.
I want to be able to grab the data, take a look at it and say, okay, well, it's operating optimally. And then we can get the unsolicited feedback from our operators to say, this is good, this is bad. I will tell you, I'm a larger guy. I like it cold. And probably the worst thing that I find in some of our APUs, whether it be Thermo King, Carrier, all these other ones, it feels like you don't get enough airflow. It's just like you struggle. I want to feel the air moving.
Yeah,
that's the key. It may not be cold, but if you get a lot of air, you get the airflow moving, you feel comfortable. And with the integrated system on the Kenworth truck, it's probably the best I've seen, because it utilizes the truck blowers and you get a lot more airflow. So I'm really I'm really happy and positive about this evolution. So, stay tuned. This may be the wave of the future. And I'm not saying it's a one size fits all. This is just another opportunity to look at way we can better the driver satisfaction and creature comforts, along with being sustainable and not have all the downtime. That's the big thing is some of these units, the downtime and then just the maintenance, they're sealed, they're electric, they're not going to have much maintenance. So
as we go through this beta, I guess, test, really, it's past beta test now. We've got 30 trucks with this on board, right? So it looks like that there are no downsides so far. Looking forward to the feedback. It's efficient. It's cost effective. It saves time, and the drivers are comfortable. All of it sounds great. Does this also enable us to maintain compliant to deliver to certain states as well?
Actually, it's actually better because as we start looking at the different legislative areas and laws, it can be very cumbersome. But we've got a completely certified engine, both in what's called California ARB certified and EPA certified. So your trucks will have 2 stickers on them up until 2027, which will go back to just the 1 sticker for EPA because we meet all the same regulatory requirements regardless of what state you're in. But we do both the California and the EPA. And the good part is that we're just using the engine when we're really powering, and it's clean certified, and we don't have the additional units. So yeah, it gives us a little bit better leg up of not having to, push things out. And the other thing is you're not idling. You don't have another engine there that's idling. In some places you find that, idle ordinances where they don't even want the APU running. So it's quiet, sufficient. I hope it's our new of the future, but it's going to, time will tell with our drivers. This is about our drivers. This isn't about what somebody up on high wants to kind of dictate down. It's a matter of, here's something new. We're going to throw 30 out there. We're going to get feedback and we're going to say, does this work? And if it works, that's fantastic. If it doesn't, we'll continue to look and we'll continue to do what we're doing and try to continue to make our drivers' lives easier.
Well, I tell you, all of this, Nick, nets down to the fact that Stevens Transport, Paragon Leasing, always on the cutting edge of technology, ahead of other companies too. So if you're one that found this podcast trying to determine which company you would like to hitch your wagon to, per se, and this is hopefully a wonderful example of that. You will always be on the cutting edge of technology with Stevens Transport and the support of Paragon Leasing, the maintenance arm of the company. And joining us is Nick Forte, the Vice President of Maintenance with Paragon Leasing and Stevens Transport. And we look forward to having you back, Nick, to talk about any other additional initiatives or ways to make the life easier for our drivers.
Thank you, Sam.
Okay, let's talk safety. A little reminder for you from the desk of Stevens Safety Supervisor, Mr. Terrance Burges. Terrance wants to remind you this week about adjusting mirrors and proper mirror usage. Stevens Transport's accidents have mostly been low-speed events like backing, turning, pulling out, and things like that. But one of the major root causes of many of these types of events is poor mirror usage, either from them not being adjusted properly or simply not using them properly. Now, we got to think about those blind spots. Every driver should always be aware of their blind spots around their equipment. Once you're aware of your blind spots, you can strategically position your mirrors to reduce or minimize them. Before changing lanes, reposition your body posture to check for any vehicles in your blind spot before executing your maneuver. Let's talk turns and pulling out of parking spots. You should always check your mirrors when carrying out these maneuvers. With mirrors properly adjusted, the driver can follow your equipment around obstacles such as poles or curbs or other vehicles to ensure that you're not going to strike them. Now, if you lose sight of any of these obstacles, then the best option is simply to stop, set your brakes, turn your flashers on, and get out and look and to assess the situation before continuing. There is your weekly safety reminder from Safety Supervisor Terrance Burges. On the way, we've got a driver's spotlight for you, a driver who drove a school bus for more than 10 years and decided to trade in the yellow bus for one of those big, beautiful black trucks that Stevens Transport has. Also, we'll get to know one of the newest members of the Stevens Transport team. We call it our Employee Spotlight. Brittany Benben will be joining us, and we'll answer that question. How many miles did Stevens drivers rack up collectively in 2024 with our new feature, Did You Know? That's all on the way on the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.
Now more than ever, truck drivers are true American heroes. The men and women who literally keep America moving by delivering goods across the country. Being a professional driver is a rewarding, financially lucrative, long-term career filled with exciting adventures. A career where you'll never have to worry about job security. If you have your CDL and keep it up, it will sustain you for the long haul. You can see the country, serve your country, and provide a good life for your family. Whether you'd rather haul on a dedicated route or lane, or prefer working with one specific customer, if you want to own your business, we have a program that sets you up for success with all the tools and support you need. We've got opportunities in our intermodal rail division and have programs to help military veterans transition into trucking careers. We have second generations of drivers whose parents have driven for Stevens, who then trained their children and are now truck drivers. Some are even small fleet owners. So, whatever your dream is, you can achieve it right here at Stevens. If you're looking for a company with a 40-plus year track record that's never had a layoff and just had the largest pay increase in company history for both new and experienced drivers, Stevens Transport has you covered. We offer the finest tools and technology and provide our drivers with the best, state-of-the-art equipment on the market. Our infrastructure will support you both on and off the road. As a driver for Stevens, you become part of our family. Many companies throw the word family around. We're family-owned, family-run, and family-driven. Our 40-plus years of success is built on family. At Stevens, you're not just a number. Our drivers are part of our extended family, and we recognize and honor them every chance we get. If you want to be among the top income earners among professional drivers, if you want great benefits, if you want to have every type of driving opportunity at your fingertips, if you want to be part of a company that will stand behind you and ensure your success, come join the Stevens Transport family today and become an American hero. So, what are you waiting for? Take the first step toward your future career with the best trucking company in America. Become part of the Stevens Transport family today by calling our recruiting department at 1-800-333-8595 or apply online at stevenstransport.com.
Ever wondered what it's like to drive across the country and get paid to see America's breathtaking landscapes? Welcome to life as a team driver with Stevens Transport. The life of a trucker can sometimes feel solitary, but with team driving, you're never alone. Let's dive into how teaming up with another driver can transform your trucking career. So what exactly is team driving? Simply put, it's when two drivers share the responsibilities of operating the same truck. This allows for continuous travel and efficient delivery. Federal regulations require solo drivers to be off-duty for at least 10 consecutive hours after 11 hours of driving. Team driving, however, maximizes productivity by alternating driving shifts, cutting down on overall trip times. By working in shifts, team drivers can cover over 5,500 miles a week. That's more than double what solo drivers can achieve, leading to more priority loads and higher earnings. Efficiency is key. With two drivers, tasks like loading and unloading become quicker and easier. Plus, you'll earn more per mile. One of the greatest perks? You get to choose your driving partner, whether it's a close friend or a new acquaintance. Having a partner on the road makes those long hauls more enjoyable. And what about rest? Team drivers sleep in comfy bunk beds while the truck is moving, allowing for nearly non-stop travel without sacrificing sleep. Safety is another major advantage. With two drivers, there's an added layer of oversight to ensure committed safety. So, if you're ready to take your trucking career to the next level, consider team driving with Stevens Transport. It's the perfect blend of companionship, efficiency, and increased earnings. Explore the benefits of team driving and start your adventure today with Stevens Transport. Apply now and join a team that drives you to success. Your journey starts here.
Welcome back to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. My name is Tim Cicerelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim. If you wouldn't mind, when you hit your next stop, please follow or subscribe to this podcast from whichever podcast platform you're enjoying it from. We are everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible. If it's a platform with a podcast on it, we are there. And by following the podcast, you'll have a brand new episode waiting for you each and every week as soon as it's released. And if you wouldn't mind, please leave us a review. Tell us what you like about the show and what you'd like changed. We are producing this podcast for you to keep you educated, informed, and hopefully a little entertained as well. Time now for our driver spotlight. We're going to pull some audio from a video that you can find on our Stevens Transport YouTube channel. We will have a link to this video in the episode notes. Today we're celebrating an independent contractor from Dallas for completing her 2-year lease, reflecting on life as a school bus driver to life as a truck driver. This driver shares the lessons that she's learned, her memorable moments, and what drives her every day. This is the story of driver Taj Burton.
Hi, my name is Taj Burton, and my job title is independent contractor. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Today I'm here because I finished my 2-year lease completion. I'm excited, overwhelmed, filled with joy. Before trucking, I was a school bus driver for 17 years. Just a different career, a higher goal, and I saw myself owning a truck or two. I've learned money management, how to maneuver, safety. Safety is real big. My travels to different states and meeting new people. Washington and Oregon. Well, my hobbies, I like to travel. I like to go on vacation and be here in attendance for church on Sundays. My most memorable experience here has been when I went into training, because I used to be a trainer. I enjoyed giving other women the knowledge and experience that I have received in my journey. The advice I have for new drivers coming into this field is to be focused, have determination, be motivated, and to have a positive support team. I would just like to thank those that that was there for me, that supported me, that gave me little nuggets to be able to push through and to be able to get to where I am today.
Thank you, Taj, for sharing your story with us. Again, that's audio from a video that you can find at our Stevens Transport YouTube channel. We will have a link to that video in the episode notes. This is our Stevens Employee Spotlight, giving you an opportunity to learn more about our friends inside the hallways there at Stevens Transport or out in their cab on the road somewhere, and not really about what they do for Stevens, but who they are when they're away from Stevens. And now you have something a little more interesting to talk about when you see them as opposed to just work. And so now we're going to be introducing someone who's relatively new to Stevens Transport. I'd like to introduce you to Brittany Bemben. Hey, Brittany, thanks for joining us on the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Brittany, when did you start at Stevens Transport?
I started at Stevens in the middle of March, week of spring break.
So you're still a newbie at Stevens, but boy, you've been thrown into the fire. Tell everybody what you do at Stevens Transport.
I am the VP of IT and Innovation.
IT and Innovation. Now we're going to talk about what you do on a future episode about, what new initiatives you might be bringing to Stevens Transport in IT and innovation, because we know that is ever changing in a constant state of flux, and Stevens Transport always on the forefront of technology as well too. So this is going to be something that we're really excited to learn from you. Maybe in another week or so we'll have you back on and talk about the nuts and bolts of what you do. But Brittany, being new to Stevens, we'd love to learn a little bit about you. Do you have a family you'd like to share some information with us about?
Yeah. So my outside of the office, my pride and joy is I have two lovely girls. I have an 11-year-old daughter named Tegan, and I have a 7-year-old daughter named Stanton.
Tegan and Stanton. And so they're now, at the time of this recording, are they back to school yet, or are they getting ready to go back to school?
They are getting ready to go back to school. It starts in 2 weeks. I'm very excited.
As most parents are at this time of year, correct? So what grade are they going into? You said their ages?
My oldest is going into the 6th grade, and my youngest is going into the 2nd grade.
So right now you're in paperwork mode, aren't you? Filling out all the paperwork and getting everything ready for the school year, I'm sure. And
no,
because I'm
in IT, we do that all online now. We do all of that online and QR codes. Yes, I'm in buying back to school supplies and shoes and backpacks and all that stuff.
All the essentials for the upcoming school year. All right, so you're a proud mama. How do you spend time with your girls when you're away from the office?
Like every parent, my hobbies are being their chauffeur, and they enjoy doing competitive dance and tumbling, and so I am their chauffeur and their number one cheerleader from the stands. So that's what we enjoy doing together mostly. And
so, all right, so you spend time with your lovely daughters. What kind of hobbies are you into yourself, just as a person, not just a mom?
So my big hobbies is I'm a marathon runner. I can be considered probably an extreme marathon runner. I run several races a year.
Wow.
And so in order to accommodate that, I usually I pretty much run every day 6 to 10 miles before I get my day started.
Thanks for making all of us feel not very productive, Brittany.
Yeah.
You run 6 to 8 miles before you go to work every day?
Yeah, sometimes 10.
Oh, just stop. What time do you get up?
4 a.m. It's the only way to do it.
So 4 a.m. while it's still cool outside, before the heat really kicks in, before the world's awake, and then you come back and pretty soon you'll be getting your girls ready for school. And then and you're working a bit of a hybrid type of work day with Stevens Transport.
Yes.
So you're a marathon runner, and I know all the training that goes into that. So when's your next marathon coming up?
I hope to do the Chicago Marathon in the fall.
In the fall. All right.
If I can stay healthy, we'll do it in the fall. It's the first year I won the lottery, so I'm very excited to get the opportunity to do it.
So explain that.
So with me, my goal is to run as many marathons around the world as I possibly can.
Wow.
I don't like to repeat it because it's really hard to run a marathon mentally anyways, and to repeat it is just too hard. And so I finally got into lottery. And I won the lottery. So the wrong lottery, but I won a lottery. And I'm hoping to run it in the fall.
Very cool. What's the most exotic place you've run marathon?
Ooh, I ran, that's in the eye of the beholder, but I ran a marathon in Hawaii, which was very, very hard. It's very hot, very up and down. I would say that is, I've also, I've done the Dopey Challenge.
The Dopey Challenge?
The Dopey Challenge, which is done by Disney World, and it's 4 days in a row. It's a 5K, 10K, half, and full marathon 4 days in a row. So it's 70 plus miles.
Wow. Well, okay. So again, we tip our cap to you, and this must be something you've been doing your entire life, to love it as much as you do. Clearly you do. And now, heck, to run a half marathon would be very challenging for most of us, I'm sure.
Yes, but anybody can do it. You just have to start walking. That's how I started, just like everyone else did. So anybody,
you got to crawl before you walk, and walk before you do a marathon, it sounds like.
Exactly.
Very cool. Well, we know that that's your passion: staying in shape, running, accomplishing things. You're a busy mom, but now we're going to get to know you on a little bit deeper level, Brittany. We're going to we're going to ask you some silly questions, just random questions. And this being the 46th year that Stevens Transport has been in business, we'd like to commemorate that by giving you approximately 46 seconds to answer as many silly questions as possible. Are you up for the challenge?
Let's do it.
All right. Let the clock start now. What's your famous dish that you cook?
Brownies.
Brownies. So we expect to see those at Driver Appreciation Week, right?
Yeah, there you go. I actually come from a long family of bakery owners in Chicago.
Oh, really? Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So Brittany Ben's Brownies kind of has a nice ring to it, actually.
Yes.
Who's the most famous person you've ever met?
Walter Payton.
Wow. You are a Chicago person through and through, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Indeed. All right. Favorite movie of all time?
Oh, I hate movies. It has to be crime. I love a good crime podcast. I never watch a movie. They're too long.
You've got to get out and run somewhere. You can't sit for an hour and a half.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. I can't crime podcasts. And I have to, no.
All right. No movies. No favorite movies. So I'm assuming no favorite television shows either.
No, I like television shows.
Okay,
I like track television shows. Good Real Housewives. Gotta love it. Below Deck. Yeah.
Which city is your favorite of the Real Housewives franchise?
Oh, I would say Salt Lake City.
Salt Lake City. I'm laughing because I'm relatively familiar with it. I'm not going to explain why. If you could have dinner with anybody living or that has passed, famous or a personal relative, who would you like to spend some time with and learn from?
I would say my dad, because he died when I was younger, and I'd love to have a conversation, and I'd love to see him and see who I've become.
For me to ask any other question after that amazing answer would be stupid and frivolous, and that was beautiful and a perfect way to end this. Brittany Ben, wonderful to finally get to meet you. We'll have you back on shortly, and we'll ask you some serious stuff about how you're serving Stevens Transport. Sound like a deal?
Sounds like a deal.
Awesome. Looking forward to having Brittany back on with us next week so we can talk a little bit more seriously about her role as VP of IT and Innovation at Stevens Transport. Okay, before we pump the brakes here on episode 154, we have a brand new feature that we're excited to share with you. At the top of the episode, I kicked off the new segment called Did You Know? And I asked if you happen to have any idea as to how many collective miles our Stevens drivers racked up in 2024. What do you think? Maybe a few million miles? Well, it's more than a few million. The answer is a jaw-dropping 30,138,935 miles collectively driven in 2024 from Stevens Transport drivers. That's enough to drive to the moon and back more than 60 times. Boy, you talk about keeping America moving. Let's see if we can top over 30 million in 2025. A new Did You Know coming up in the next episode. Okay, that's going to do it for episode 154 of the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast. If you found this podcast because you're searching for a brand new career, please make sure you visit the episode notes. We will have phone numbers and every link possible for you to learn more about Stevens Transport and even schedule a call with one of our recruiters. All the information is in the episode notes. And like we said earlier, please follow or subscribe to this podcast from whichever platform you're enjoying it from and share it with one of your fellow drivers. We sure would appreciate it. And finally, my name is Tim Cicerelli, otherwise known as Trucker Tim. Thanks for joining me. And until next time, be safe out there. And thanks for listening to the Stevens Transport Roadside Radio Podcast.